Welcome to Healthitarian Living. On today's episode, I will be sharing with you how to make a super easy, super quick, and delicious, and of course, nutritious spread. This being the fruit-infused coconut butter spread. If you are a fan of coconut, you will most likely love this spread. Today we are going to infuse it with fresh orange. However, you can make it infused with fresh strawberries or fresh blueberries, or even experiment with other fruits like mangoes or pineapples. This spread is a fantastic treat, especially if you have kids who would perhaps normally be used to relying on different spreads that may not be optimally healthy for them. This is also a fantastic option for those of us who perhaps are very active and require a higher density or proportion of calories and or fat in our diet. And finally, this spread is also a fantastic idea if you or someone in your family has any nut or peanut allergies, as it is completely 100% nut and peanut free. For this spread, you only need 3 easy to find ingredients, this being the coconut in its organic, dried, unsweetened, and unpreserved form, 1 organic orange, and 4 organic medjool dates. With just these 3 simple whole food ingredients, you can create a super delicious treat in just a few minutes, as I'll be sharing with you in just a moment. This spread is 100% plant-based and thus vegan. It is also composed fully of whole foods. This means we are not using any fragments of foods or isolates or extracts. Second, as shared, it is nut and peanut free. It is also oil-free. It is sugar-free, that is refined, isolated, and or added sugar-free. It is also gluten-free. Given the type of ingredients we are using for this spread, you can expect that it will have some healthy carbohydrates and some healthy protein, but predominantly be a rich source of healthy fats. In this sense, we are using coconut in its whole form, and being in its dried form, it's really the second best that we can get next to fresh, wholesome coconut. When we are consuming coconut, there has been a lot of controversy and confusion with regards to, is coconut a healthy food or not a healthy food? And it really all depends on the form that you eat it in and the amount that you eat of it. And especially if they are part of a whole plant-based diet, then we can easily and confidently include some coconut as part of our diet. This spread is also going to provide you with some wonderful minerals and of course vitamins between our fruits and the coconut. And as with all plant foods, we are going to get some wonderful healing and protective phytonutrients, antioxidants, and ultimately fiber. The tools you will need to prepare this spread are as follows. First, and most important, is some kind of a high-powered blender. That means not your typical blender, but something that is able to process whole foods into very smooth consistencies, no matter how thin or small they are. Second, you're going to require some kind of utensils, especially a knife for spreading and a spatula to scoop out all of your spread from your blender. And finally, you'll also need a measuring cup to measure out your coconut. Other than that, you will also benefit from having on hand a storage container in which you can store any leftover or extra coconut spread. To put together this spread, it is super easy. First, start by getting your ingredients. With your orange, the very first thing you need to do is wash it and then peel it. Second, get your 4 medjool dates and remove the pits from them. Third, measure out 1 cup of your dried coconut. Once you have all of your ingredients ready, simply place them all into your blender, starting with the orange. And that's it. You will not need any liquid. Simply close and blend all of these ingredients on high until a creamy and smooth consistency results. If you are using a blender like a Vitamix, the use of the tamper that comes with the unit is essential, as this will make sure that you, of course, mix around all your ingredients evenly. When you have finished processing your spread, simply transfer it using your spatula into a storage container. When your spread first comes out of your blender, it will be extra soft, a little fluffy, and may even be warm. If you store your spread for a few hours in the fridge or simply keep it in the fridge until ready to use, do expect that it will harden a little bit but still be very easy to spread. Notice how beautifully it spreads, as it is nice and moist However, it is still very easy to spread, not being too watery or too dry. In many ways, it actually mimics substances that we would typically consider like butter. And now you have this beautiful, notice the color, beautiful orangey yellow spread. The smell is absolutely amazing with those fresh orange tones coming through. And what do you do with it? Well, that's up to you. While you can eat it as is, of course, the best will be to use it sparingly and on something like your favorite variety of Ezekiel bread. And so if you are new to Ezekiel bread is really the healthiest bread that we can eat, as when it is true Ezekiel bread, it is made of soaked and sprouted whole grains and legumes, and the grains are not processed into a flour. Of course, it has no added sugars or oils or any preservatives or additives, eating our grains in the most wholesome and optimal of ways possible. And so even though all varieties of Ezekiel bread go really well with this spread, one that you may particularly enjoy is the organic Ezekiel raisin bread. And so you can put some of this wonderful spread on this bread and enjoy yourself, perhaps as a snack, perhaps as an addition to your breakfast or other meal, and of course, comfortably pack for your kids to school, as many schools today enforce nut-free and peanut-free lunches. And as a unique idea, if, for example, you are making a healthy, wholesome cake for some occasion, you can use this in any of its beautiful natural fruit colors as a healthy icing alternative. And so what do you do with any of the leftovers or extras? Simply keep them in a sealed container and place them into the fridge. This type of a spread can easily last for a few days. If it was just the dried coconut and the dry medjool dates, know that you can keep it really for a few good weeks, especially in the fridge, as there's really nothing there to spoil. If you want to experiment with other varieties, I recommend trying some strawberries, in which case you would use roughly about 4 to 6 fresh strawberries, and instead of a beautiful orange spread, you'll get a strawberry-infused, bright reddish pink spread. You can also experiment with fresh blueberries, about half a cup of fresh blueberries, and you'll get a beautiful lightish purple blue spread. And so beautiful, natural colors, nature's beauty coming right to us through our wholesome plant foods, and something that you can make so quickly, so easily, have on hand for those quick snacks or meal additions, and also feel so good about eating, and especially so serving to any of the kids in your care. Thank you for joining me for this episode. I hope you enjoyed this delicious treat idea, and I'll see you next time.